Welcome to another episode of Trucker Talk. It's been a been a couple of weeks, 3 weeks.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
um, been a I don't know, man. I'm let me get serious. Okay. Um, sermon today, man. What do you think about that sermon this
it
morning?
was. It was. I think it was, as I would say, it was probably well needed. Hopefully, everybody got something out of it.
You know, one thing I noticed over the past couple of weeks, and I know you listen, is I think more the whole message is getting more people involved and trying to get the word out to
Yes.
get more people served.
Discipleship.
So I like that though, man. I like that. But I got to throw everybody a curveball. But look, I was happy to get my gear, man. I got me
Get your merch.
got my hat the with the was it lamb got the
Yep.
lamb on it, got the shirt, man. And I was happy to get the shirt. I made a post. I said, man, I better have me a hey. They said first come, first serve. So
Yeah, and they were actually selling.
Luke
They were
15,
selling very
7.
well. Yeah, I like Luke chapter 15.
He died if only one for the
Yep.
one.
Yep.
Heart and soul, there will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents and over 99
Righteous
righteous
people.
persons who don't repent.
There's actually a song
Luke
about that.
15,
Corey,
7.
Corey Asbury. I listen to it all the time. Corey Asbury, and he sings that
Dropping
song.
knowledge, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was happy, man. I was happy.
Anybody
So,
interested in that song? That's what I sent. A friend of mine. I was
got these
reading
invite cards.
cases.
Get your invite card. Look.
Hey, you know how I invite people, don't you?
Hey, you invited me. That's
You know
that's
how I
it.
invite
That's
them.
it. The story.
Hey, I'll send a message to him. Say, hey, check this out. Let me know what you think.
He sent a message out, but hey, you be on it though, so I appreciate the invite, man. Hey, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I just gave you an opportunity. It was up to you to come.
I'm grateful, man.
I don't take all the credit for it by no means. I do not.
You spreading the word. So,
Yep.
safety tip of the day, and we talked about this earlier. You got wet, this time of year, wet roads and skids. So you gotta slow down early. Some people, like for example, I was in Kentucky driving the other night, and man, it rained all night. So, man, you watch people, they in and out.
Like they only just drive
And
in.
my thought is, what if somebody stopped? What if a log or something fall off onto the interstate? But you got to slow down, man. But
Yep.
people just they bump their bumper on
Keep
people.
that distance, man. And like I say, you think you can stop when it's slippery. It's called hydroplaning.
Hydroplane, yeah, you a hydroplane,
It doesn't take long. You don't think you can because it could happen.
real quick and
Lose-
fast. So
Lose traction in a heartbeat.
you got to increase your following distance, avoid sudden moves, ease off of the throttle. Some people are heavy foot.
Yep.
Steer in a direction you want the truck to go, not
Yes.
where it's sliding. But some people, of course, they panic. They're like, yes.
Spin it around. You
It's
go in
just
circles. You got donuts
spinning
going.
around.
Yes.
So, in as far as truck driving, use your engine brake carefully. And me, when I'm going down, especially them downgrades, when I'm up in the woods up there in Kentucky, like when you going down them downgrades, if you don't use that engine brake, you can smell them brakes and brakes.
Yeah.
Because by the time you get to the bottom of that hill, you like,
Yep.
what's that? Them brakes, boy. And I had an experience one time. I was going to Cherokee, North Carolina. I was going down Soco, I think it's Soco Road. And I was still learning. Man, I got down to talking about smoking. It scared the light. I've never experienced that. They was smoking, so I had to pull over. I was like, yeah, I was a little nervous. So, but that was only it happened years ago, one time. So, but you got to watch for bridges and ramps, too, because sometimes when it, I know when it's ice, when it's black
Oh,
ice, when
yes.
it's got to be careful because what the bridges. What I remember, that's the first thing to freeze.
Yeah, because the air goes underneath it, so it makes it colder quick.
Right. So, but y'all be safe. Just use your not your own judgment, but just use common sense.
Think safety first, always.
Safety
Always.
first. So today we're going to talk about is toxic behavior and patterns transferable to a spouse. You ever notice how you can be doing fine and you get into a relationship suddenly you're reacting in a way you don't recognize. It makes you wonder, did I change or did something transfer?
No, when you asked, we talked about this earlier, or well, 2 weeks before Christmas. Oh, actually, speaking, of hoping everybody had a good Christmas and hoping everybody's New Year's starting out good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we almost about these summertime.
Hey, we about to be in March, I'm playing. with the weather here, yeah. But yeah, I hope everybody had a good Christmas and I had to, have a happy new year because you got people they come up with resolutions. Some people do resolutions and stuff, man. But I know we got off the topic and everything, but some people, some people they have these resolutions and stuff like that. And I don't know about you, but me personally, and I'll share it like probably on other episodes, but I just got these they're like motivational cards, but they're what is it called? Affirmation cards.
Yes.
And it's like motivation stuff. So stuff like that, like even though I get up, like I gotta feed myself daily. And I tell people. So that right there is like some extra fuel to the fire. So I'm meditating and doing my gratitude and all that. By the time I come downstairs, or I can read those. I got the cards. If I can read the cards and just it'll get me pumped even more. Like I said, it ain't no energy drink. It ain't no what people do. They do them. You got the 5-hour energies. You got them yellow jackets. I don't need none of that. This is all. It's a mental thing. I'm feeding myself mentally.
Good.
So
anyway,
but let's define what toxic behavior really looks like. Not just yelling or cheating. You have emotional shutdowns, defensiveness, control, and then there's silent treatment. I know you got learned patterns versus intentional harm. So the key point is not all toxicity. I said it right. Toxicity is malicious. Some of it is survival.
Yes. Mechanism. I see it all. Well, we all got it.
We all do have it.
We all throw that wall up. It's I'm gonna block everything out, and it's true. We're going back to that. When I posed this question to you, because I was thinking about. It's like, is it transferable, or do people? Not. I had to really think about it deeply. I said, well, if you've been in a relationship, was it sudden, or you've been in a long-term relationship? And say if one person, in my opinion, if one person they got this something about them. Because the reason I ask you this is like I know a person that called me and we were talking about this, and it's like they had a different view of the situation that was going on. But then I said, is that your viewpoint, or is this your spouse's viewpoint? And I'm thinking, are you copying them, or are they copying you, or feeding off of them, or are they feeding off of you? One of y'all are feeding off of each other. Was when they explained it to me, like I said, well, I said, in my opinion, I probably wouldn't have done that. I probably would have done something else. But if your significant other had an idea of this is what we're going to do, you need to do it. You need to be on board. Right. Or if you're not on board, you're against me if you're not with me. Right. That's when I asked you that. I said, when is it transferable? Do you start picking those behaviors up because you don't want to make your significant other angry at you because you know how toxic they already are?
Right.
You just learn to deal with it. And you see this in prime example, you see it in families all the time.
I see it all the time.
How can you do this? But well, so-and-so said do this, and we're gonna be ride or die friends. But I said, but that's not right. One of y'all somebody need to be corrected on the situation. And it's like, be open to whatever's going on, but still don't just assume where this person is right because you're a significant other. And I know it's kind of hard sometimes to go against your significant other.
Right.
But you still need to communicate. I don't think that's right. I know whatever we are, but that I think there's another way that could have been handled. We see it like we talk about this, and it's in a lot of families are that way.
Plus family
when that person called me, I'm thinking, well, one of y'all feeding off of each other, or both of y'all learn to feed off of each other. So you kind of like combining forces for the reason that one or the other wants that force to be gained by arguing, or say having that defense mechanism up against this other family member or whatever.
Right. And and what you're saying is I've seen it happen, and I'm grateful that I mean people are like that, and that's how people like again, it's a learned pattern. They just go along with it. It's comfortable for them.
Mhm.
I could never do that. And even now with me starting, getting in relationships, starting to, being open to starting to get in relationships and stuff like that, it's all I communicate, and I'm one of those. If something's brought up or suggestion or whatever, I'm not just gonna. And I would talk to whoever I'm talking to,
Yeah,
and just be open with them and be like, if it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong.
correct.
But we're having a conversation about something, and I know it's wrong. I don't care how much I like the person or how I'm
Yes.
feeling. I'm gonna just be like, hey, that's not right. That's
Yes, yes.
I'm not just gonna, and if they're wrong, I'm gonna tell them they're wrong. I would expect them to do me the same. I don't
Mhm.
want them to,
Right
and I
along.
feel those things like when somebody's trying to just make you feel. I don't like that. And if
Yeah.
I feel that, I'm like, look, think I'm work. I don't want you to just be
Don't agree with me.
to agree with me. I don't
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Um so how patterns transfer. So emotional energy is contagious. Unhealed trauma doesn't stay quiet. One partner coping in survival mode can pull the other one into it. You don't catch behavior, you adapt to environments. So you don't catch behavior, you adapt to the environment, just like you were saying, man. So a relatable line, you didn't bring this version of you into that relationship, but you learned it there.
Yes. Yes.
That's deep.
Yeah.
You did not bring this version of you into that relationship, but you learned it there.
Yeah.
So
You became that person that, you became that person.
it's wild, man. But I see it all the time. And just like that's why you gotta heal. You get out of stuff. Just like I've had good and bad experiences,
Mhm.
and I can feel my anxiety getting up, and I'll be like, you know what, I'm going back to that pattern. So then I
Mhm.
just step back. So you got to allow yourself time to heal.
Yeah.
So signs is happening. You reading, you reacting instead of responding. You're saying, I'm not like this more often. Communication feels like defense, not connection. Peace feels unfamiliar. Chaos feels normal. That's the toxic, the toxic stuff.
Yeah, it is. And it is when it becomes feeling when
When
it
it
feels
feels
like it's
normal,
normal.
it is
Yeah, yes.
not good.
That's not good. Not good at all. Not good for either because now you become one and you just like now it's just a matter of time before you're gonna clash.
Yeah.
Matter of time.
Yeah, and they say, and I always tell people this: if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive.
Woo.
I read a lot of quotes, man, but I
like that
study.
one.
But if it costs you your peace, it's too
Too
expensive.
expensive. Yes.
So accountability without blame. So yes, patterns can transfer, but responsibility stays personal. You got awareness versus excuses.
Yes.
You can acknowledge influence without losing ownership. And then healing is an inside job, even when damage was shared. So that's pretty.
It's pretty deep. But it's true. It's exactly true. And people and I'm sure we all know people or families that are that way. I mean, it's it almost like becomes a normal thing. It's like, well, you know how they are. That's what we
Yeah,
say.
that's
You
what they
know
say.
how they are.
But you don't have to accept that because
No,
I'm at a point in my life at 41. I don't have to put up with nobody's stuff.
no.
And if I go somewhere and if I get which I'm not gonna get the anxiety because I'm not gonna go. If I don't feel like going, I'm just not going. I don't want no part
Yes,
of it. And that's
right,
just how I
right.
am. So, but like you said, you have what they say. You know how your uncle is. You know
Yes.
how
And we
so and
all
so
accept
is.
it. And we say, well,
They
okay, yeah, you're
accept
right.
it. They
Yeah.
roll with it. They acting a fool, cussing, drunk,
And their behavior never
and
changes
it
because
never
it becomes
changes.
normal to be that person. And nobody wants to say anything or stand up to say
Nobody wants
anything
to
about
say
it.
anything.
We don't want to hurt his feelings. But
Right.
yours is being hurt the whole time.
Well,
Or everybody else's.
that's the toxic, the drama, and it's been normalized at
Yeah,
that point,
yeah.
and it's accepted. So, how to break the cycle? So, emotion, emotional boundaries are non-negotiable. Emotional boundaries are non-negotiable. Therapy, coaching, faith, reflection, pick your tools. So you got to learn how to pause instead of react. That's one thing last year I've almost got it mastered, but sometimes people can punch me in the back.
Yeah,
they still come and hit me in the back. And I'm like, man, I tried. I'm trying. I'm better now, though. I'm grateful.
What did you sent that post to Pastor Austin?
Which one?
About slapping somebody.
Oh, he said you can't, but he was joking though.
What is it? You got to read it so everybody understand what we're going.
I have to go through my Facebook, but no, it basically said, I'm trying to be a Christian, but I still want to slap. Or I'm trying to follow God, but I still want to slap people.
Yeah. Pastor Austin said, "Do both."
So I'm struggling between it, which like I said, I'm good now, but there was a point in time I was bad. So, but learning how to pause instead of react. So you got to choose peace, even if it changes the relationship dynamic.
Oof. That's what people are afraid of.
Yeah, because I think, well, we're all different, man. And there again, behaviors and learn and people. You see, like I have a lot of friends that are in relationships and married and whatever, and you can see how they move. Like each of my friends, their relationships, they are all different.
Yes,
and they all move a different way. None of them are the same. So with me looking on the outside in, it's not like I'm dying for a relationship, because some people, they would just be with somebody just to be with somebody. I've never been like that. Mm-hmm. So as I'm, working on myself and I'm learning from, the people around me, I just, none of them are perfect. So all I can do is just sit back and I can observe. And I can say, I like this, I don't like that. But it still don't matter, because at the end of the day, just like in this dating game in the world now, we talk about it. You got your checklist. So I can, I've checked my list off 100 times and checked it twice. And then, because you got your different stages when you're dating. You start talking to somebody. And it's kind of like you take 2 steps. You either go take 2 steps forward and 4 steps back. Yes. But you talk to them, you're like, okay, I like them. And you take some more steps, and and then when you see something that you may not like, or you be like, man, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. Yeah. Well, you take your stuff, and you go back around.
Know how long that's going to go on. That's
there you go.
Now you get into the pattern. You become that person because you learn to accept that behavior.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. You can have a conversation about it and voice your concerns about it. But like I said, I'm just not that type to be like, okay, let's just go. Like, so you got to do that. But some people, they wait till it's late, but then fast forward, next thing you know, they're married and they're like, I'm tired of this and that. I thought I could change you. I thought, and it's like, wait a minute.
Yes.
You can't change people. Some people, they try to change people. When they get disappointed, you can't have them expectations. Yeah. You never need to have expectations.
That's right.
To try to change somebody to what you want them to be. That ain't never going to happen.
No.
That's how people get damaged, and, they're in therapy and they, one of them hospitals, because in their mind, they think they can do what once they marry. Well, some people, when they marry you, they think they own you. They can control you, but you can't do that. So love shouldn't cost you your emotional identity. I left that out, sorry. But I'm going to give the audience a reflection question. Have you ever noticed yourself picking up behaviors you shared or you swore you would never have? How do you protect your peace while still loving someone? Those are some two. Let me say it slow. I'm talking too fast now. So the first reflection question, have you ever noticed yourself picking up behaviors you swore you never have? That's one question. The second question is, how do you protect your peace while still loving someone? That's a challenge.
That's a bowl of soup. That's a bowl of soup right there.
Oh, that's a challenge because, and there again, we all got our love. And I was talking to a female, a friend of mine, the other day, and it was like a slap in the face. And I don't think I've said this to you, but this was what she said. somebody had I see some people online or whatever. Make a long story short, people showed the way she explained it to me. People got their names tattooed, or whatever, and I was like, man, my personal opinion about it, I don't think that. I just said I don't think that's love, but she was like, wait a minute, that's their way of showing love. So you really can't. You don't know their definition of love, so you can't say that's not love. And I was like, well, how is that love? So in my mind, it kind of messed with me because I
Yeah.
was like, I've never dated somebody and be like, hey, baby, I'm just gonna get your name tattooed on my neck. Like I've never ever loved anybody enough to even get my. I mean, that's just me personally. So no offense to anybody got your spouse or your husband name tattooed, but I've never loved anybody enough. The only name I've had on my body was my son. I had it on my arm, but I've never loved anybody enough to have a name tattoo. But she broke that down for me, and I was like, shut up, Matthew. I was like, she's on to something.
Yeah.
She's on to something. So I was like, okay. So yeah. But love, everybody's got their own definition of love. Because if you think about it, and I thought about this after she said that, I look at all these people that are in. I don't want to say the wrong. I'm not even gonna say the wrong terminology, but they're in I would just say they are in their own relationships in their own world, and they call it love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they can meet somebody one week, they living with them the next week, and then they living together for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, but they're in love on this side. But then you got these people that you got other couples or people, you know, they do it a different way.
Yeah.
And they get to know them, and then they, you know, okay, they get serious and they get engaged, and after a year or two, boom, let's have a wedding, let's get married, and then they, you know, do it that way. So you got different ways of doing
true
it.
Commitment, pretty much.
Well, a traditional way of doing it.
Right.
Versus the times we're living in now, you know, you can meet. Well, I don't do this, but people meet people. Oh, let's move in together. Let's live together. People do that. That's like the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't. No offense, but that's just the new norm.
Yeah.
And so there's so many variables and so much stuff that can go wrong.
Yep.
And I have some friends that when they do break up with whoever they're with, it's like, and I got to start over. And I don't say nothing.
Yeah. They are heartbroken.
In my mind, I'm just thinking, like, I don't have nothing to say.
Or the worst thing that they say, well, maybe not the worst, but they say, I got all that time, all those years that I can't get back.
Yeah.
That's the first thing they'll say. Well, I committed all that time, 13, 14, 5, 6, 8 years.
That's a long time.
I could have been with somebody. I could have been with someone else, you know. But again, at that point in time, they were probably assuming it was going to be the best thing that happened. And sometimes it's not if they're not working on that thing going.
Yeah, but you still have to, you know, just like anybody, you know, date and talk to. I'm like, look, I break all that down and I start from the beginning.
Dating.
And I communicate about this is what, as far as in my future, if I decide to continue on, this is what what I'm going to do. This is what I'm looking for. Things that this is what I want my future to look like. Right. I'm already, looking into it.
You got a plan.
You got to plan it. Yeah. A lot of people, they're in the moment and it feels good.
Yeah.
They call it lust.
Well, I'm going to call it lust.
But it's
hormones are raging.
Love though, because people look at love a different way. It's love.
But again, I'm gonna say that's my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but that's how I see it and how I feel about it. But like I said, whatever works for each individual, then that's fine.
Right, and I get that. So closing on this, the takeaway: toxic patterns can transfer, but healing can too. The question isn't change you, it's who are you choosing to become now?
Say that again.
Toxic patterns can transfer, but healing can too. The question isn't who changed you, it's who are you choosing to become now? That's a tough question, man.
It's deep too.
Because I say that because I have different, friends. I've seen both sides. I've seen people come out on the worst end because the relationship or whatever the toxic what they was in, it just brought them all the way down, and they couldn't recover from it. And I've seen people, go down, but they come all the way back up, and they found somebody that was healthy, but they allowed themselves time to heal, and then they set up boundaries. And they was like, you know what, this new relationship, I'm not doing X, Y, and Z.
Mhm.
I ain't, the stuff that they dealt with in the last. So I've seen both sides of it. So it can be damaging, but at the end, who are you choosing to become now is the question. You got a choice.
That's pretty strong.
Got a choice. So, but if you don't got anything else to say, or
No,
got
no, man.
anything else
I was
to
just
go?
wondering. I would actually like to know some of the New Year's resolutions that people have come up with. Y'all want to send those to
Okay,
us?
yeah, if y'all whatever New Year's resolutions or
I don't have any. I didn't make any. I just try to be the best I can. I guess that's called one of them, but I just try to do better each day.
well, I like that, but see, with me, mine's is the more mental, and I go into this. It's mental for me. I want to, I gotta work on my mental because you gotta think I'm at night. I went
Yes.
from daytime to nighttime by myself. So you gotta think I gotta entertain my brain for 10 hours.
Yes.
So whatever you feed yourself is what you become. So that's why I'm coming up like
Yes.
with the affirmation cards, the motivation. I have to feed
Yeah.
I'm gonna feed. I'm gonna feed myself that because I'm telling you, if your mind is in a bad place, and like I said, that's why I set when I get up at night, I pray, I do all that because even if I'm sick or feeling got a cold or something, because if I don't, I'm telling you, your mind, you start, and don't get me wrong, I think about my son, I think about my mama.
Yeah.
I come up with like when I'm not feeding my mind, I'll come up with problems like I'd be like my
Scenarios.
truck's gonna mess up, or I'd be
Yes.
like, what if my washer go out, or what am I? And so my mind it creates, and there again, and I told you it's fear.
Mhm.
Fear is false evidence appearing real. So sometimes you put fear in your mind, and once that fear is in your mind, it's like going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
You can't stop
yeah.
it.
No. Done.
But what I've learned at nighttime when I start going down a rabbit hole, I start, in my mind, I'm praying and I'm just like, okay, and I put on some gossip music or something uplifting. And next thing I know, boom, all them negative thoughts, they
Back
go
on
away.
track. Yeah.
But you got to be able to have that control
Yep.
over your mental, your mental state. Because some people, I ain't gonna say no names, but I talk to some guys at night. Some guys I don't talk to for reasons. So let's just say that. But because I'm telling you, I could be hum hop, beat bobbing down the road. When I see my phone ring, I'm just like this. Like not tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Not
And
tonight.
and you have, you have people that are like that. It's like nothing's ever right. It's
Right.
and they bring you down when they do that. It's like I don't
want that right now.
I can do bad
so
all by myself. I don't need help.
You keep that energy,
Yeah.
and I'll keep my positive energy. But but we appreciate you all. But just drop
Yes.
your resolutions down in the comments, and as always, we appreciate you all.
Well,
Team
we
Four.
sure do. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Y'all have a good afternoon. Y'all be safe.
It's the drip from